Hello and welcome to Goodert Farms. We're back with another episode of Farmville, North Carolina. And I have run a couple of truckloads up to the elevator here off camera. And I have to say this new unloader is working pretty good. It doesn't quite keep up with the combine. Mostly because, I don't know if it's the combine or the Courseplay course or what, but we keep kind of running into a couple of issues with the combine stopping at the end rows when it gets close to the edge of the map. I don't know that there's a lot we're going to be able to do with that, especially on this field that is quite literally right up against the edge of the map. But I have to say it's been nice seeing the combine mostly moving here, and our grain cart driver is doing pretty good at figuring out how to get back up to this truck no matter where I park it. I've been kind of trying to park the truck in a few different spots in the headlands here just to see how the grain cart operates. And as far as figuring out how to get back up there and dump the grain, it does a great job. It looks like he didn't want to drive all the way down to the end of the field there to make its way around, so we're going to do a little bit of a U-turn in the crops there. Well, we'll forgive Courseplay for some of its oddities from time to time. For the most part, I have to say it's been doing really good. So while we run up here to dump into the truck, let's take a quick look at the contract. We are 67% done with the contract, and I don't know if I've got the details. There we go. We still have to deliver about 110,000 liters of barley up there. We've already delivered 122, so we're over halfway from the delivery perspective, and we're at 67.6% of the field work actually covered. So we've been making pretty good progress here. Now, it looks like we might have just topped off that front hopper, and he's going to make a U-turn here to top off the back hopper here. I wasn't quite paying attention while we were in the menus there, so hopefully he figures this out. No problems. I haven't had a problem yet where we couldn't get the grain into the trailer. Looks like this is going to be no exception. Everything's working great. So this guy should keep the combine going, and usually I've been able to make it all the way back up here after dumping a truck at the elevator, even though the elevator is on the other side of the map here, quite literally the opposite corner of the map. We can make it there and back in just enough time to come back to a full grain cart ready to be unloaded. So this is quite the good setup here for us on this smaller, medium-sized equipment, I'll say, farm that we're running. I'm very happy with this. If we weren't in the middle of nowhere here having to skirt around these train tracks, I'd totally be setting up an auto drive course to take care of dumping this stuff up at the elevator. But unfortunately, with how this is set up, we're having to jump across ditches and do some pretty crazy things here. So we've been manually running these trucks for the last, I don't know, an hour or so here. Looks like the combine is full there again, but I have no concerns. I know that grain cart's going to get down there and get it emptied. So let's run this back up to the elevator here. I'll do that. We'll jump up there off camera, and then hopefully we're getting about done with this field. I think we're on the last land section of the field, and we'll be able to start cleaning up these short rows. All right, we've made it back up here to the field. It looks like we're almost done with this land section that we're going around on, but the combine does seem to get stuck on this last section of the land every time. I should remember this and come and check in on him. It's when you're the furthest away between these two that you get towards this outside row, and that's just slightly too close to the edge of the map for the worker to keep going, unfortunately. Every single time I've had to restart him, it's been on this last loop of the land when he's getting close to the outside there. So you'd think I'd learned my lesson. We're almost done with this field though, so that's all right. But it looks like the grain cart is still set up here, not turned off, still waiting to fill up. And so if we jump back over here to the combine, we should be calling for it. The grain cart here, I think it's around 50-60%, somewhere in there, that it calls for the grain cart. As you can see, the grain cart is actually almost full. We could probably go empty the grain cart and then come back here, but I think what we'll do instead is we'll just grab the grain cart and we'll do the unload ourselves so that we can top it off. and then we'll start up the Courseplay course again on it. Every once in a while, it's fun to do a job on your own. And I do have the vehicle speed sync mod installed here, so I can push Shift 3 and get the speed from the Combine. Super handy mod. But I need to remember to up that speed control again after the fact, or Courseplay will get locked down at a much too slow speed for us. That's what happened when we first got started, was trying to figure out why the grain cart driver was going so slow. And then, let's see, we need to swing over here, see if I can line up. I think the auto Courseplay driver, oof, the brakes on this thing when the cart is full are not so good. We'll try that again. I think that Courseplay driver is actually probably a little bit better at unloading into the truck here than I am. Not a surprise for anybody that's been watching the channel for a while now, though. I have to say, Courseplay's been pretty good about going around my vehicles and stuff here, too. I'll be curious to see how it handles my truck being parked right in the middle of this lands area. If it'll sneak all the way around here on the outside, or if we're going to have to move the truck. I'm not sure yet. Moment of truth. Let's find out what's going to happen. And, oh, it's going to navigate around? Oh, look at that. I have to say, Courseplay has gotten quite a bit smarter over the years here. I've been really impressed with its ability to figure things out here in the FS22 edition. I have to say, in FS19, that would have been a collision with the truck, and I would have just been frustrated. I've been moving vehicles around, trying to keep things from getting all bent out of shape about having more than one vehicle in the field. This is making me more and more inclined to try a multi-vehicle setup here, like multiple harvesters on the same field with grain carts trying to keep up with them and stuff like that. I'm really excited to try out a bit of a bigger farm here with some more modern machinery. Alright, let's go ahead and start Courseplay back off on the driver here. It's going to sit here and wait until the Combine gets to the other end here, hopefully. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, we're almost full. We're probably not going to make it to the other end. I forgot we didn't get a chance to finish unloading the Combine here, so Combine driver's going to end up cutting in somewhere down here. That's alright. And we've got one more dump from the grain cart to take this back up. See, it works so well that we can get back here before everything's all full up. I think we would have actually probably not making it back quite in time if the Combine hadn't gotten stuck on the end there, which is fine by me. And we're cutting in here. I don't know if that grain cart's going to get called until we finish the cut-in operation. It looks like it's getting called now and zooming down the way here. Everything's working out quite well. And all we got to do is unload the harvester here. Since it's cut in, we're just going to have to sit here and wait while it unloads. Thankfully, this Gleaner's got a really fast unload speed, which I actually appreciate. I'm not a fan of sitting at the unload for the longest time. I think it's always good to find a balance between realism and having a good time in the game here. And in this case, I enjoy a quicker unload speed. It's just long enough to, feel that it's there, but not so long that I'm tapping my foot waiting to get going again. Now, I think rather than wait for the Combine to call for the Courseplay driver here, we are going to jump in here and take over and get things turned around, just because I think Courseplay is going to struggle to turn around inside this narrow area anyway. And this will let us get that truck topped off right away, and hopefully moving back up to the elevator. We're definitely getting close to the end of this contract on this field. We're going to hit the short rows here in just a moment, and that's going to speed things up a bit, I think. We've only got 2 passes here to do on this particular section, and by the time we finish these next 2 rounds, we'll be over here down into the shorter rows, which hopefully will go well. We've got 3 headland passes here, and the Combine doesn't seem to be having any issues turning around with that amount of space on the north end of this field. And and outside of the south end having the map edge, I think we'll be good to go. I can't recall how much we've got in the grain truck right now. If we tab up here, we got 650 bushels. I should have known that, but I don't remember how big these are. Maybe 600 a piece. So that means we're going to need 550 in the grain cart here in order to top off that back trailer, I think, something close to that. So we'll continue to unload here until we get to the end of the field, I think, just to make sure we can top off that truck, and also that'll give the combine the best chance of getting back down to the end of the field here before it needs to be emptied. Not that that's a problem, we're not cutting through right now. So no worries, I think we're going to be in an awesome spot here to keep the combine moving for the maximum amount of time while we're unloading the grain truck again. And yeah, I know I said it just a little bit ago, but I think the only thing I'm missing at this point would be to be able to run an auto drive course for the truck. We could really keep things moving here and probably have finished this contract by now if we had just a little bit more automation available to us than we do right now. Now, I'm going to get out of this guy's way. It looks like he is going to wait for me, though. Another point to Courseplay's automation getting so much better here, so much smarter than it used to be. And I guess this is going to be that moment of truth. We'll see if we can top off this grain cart, or if we needed just a couple more bushels. We didn't quite get to 550 in the grain cart here as I wanted to. Looks like we're getting full pretty fast, though, so I probably, as usual, miscalculated slightly. There we go. Yep, we've miscalculated slightly. That's okay. That's better than the alternative. So let's go ahead and just set this guy back over here. Don't forget to turn on the automation. And away we go. Oh yeah, there it is, 11:55. And we are back up in the field again. Looks like everything is moving along pretty good here. So I'm going to go ahead and just park this thing. I'm going to try and park it at a bit of an angle here, not quite on the full headland this time. See what's what. We're going to remember to open it up, though. And let's see here. Let's jump over here into the combine and see what's going on. Looks like we're cleaning up the last scraggly bits on the short rows up in this corner. And then it'll probably jump down here and start in on this other section. Looking good. Taking another pass off here, and then I'm not sure how many sections are left down here. It might jump over to the other end and work its way back towards the middle. We can see the end point right over there. So I'm not quite sure, just looking at the map, how the lands mode is set up for this particular section. I know there's a lot of little short rows over on the very far side there in some of the areas where the trees bend in a bit there, but that's all right. And we're at 58%, 59, 60. We should call for a grain cart here momentarily now. We jump over here and take a look. It does look like the grain cart is still all set up here to move automatically, and it is on its way, so awesome. Now things slowed down a little bit here as we got onto some of the shorter rows and the combine's having to clean up the scraggly bits left on the field. That's all right. But it looks like the grain cart is finding a good path to get over here and get everything emptied out. I have to say, I've been thoroughly impressed. The grain cart driver is winning the MVP award here, I think, this episode from the Courseplay automation. It just plain works, and I love it when things just work without issue. So yeah, I don't know, if you haven't tried out the new Courseplay Unloader mode and you're looking for somebody to run your grain cart, it's working great. I think the only catch is that it only works if Courseplay is also controlling the combine. I haven't tried it with a normal worker yet, but I don't want to ruin my Courseplay setup and course here with the combine, so maybe we'll set up a special video and do a little bit more testing with it. But if you haven't tried it out yet, I would highly recommend it. It works so much more consistently than it has in the past. And honestly, I kind of like it better than the way that AutoDrive was handling the unloader in the past. It was similar to this, but this is just fully autonomous. All you got to do is pretty much hit go and maybe put in a few offset configurations depending on your particular vehicle and grain cart combination. So no complaints there at all. Checking back in on our combine friend here. I'm really curious to see how it decides to do this. It looks like it is gonna keep going on the same path that it's been doing, cutting in every few rows here. So yeah, I'm not sure how we end up back at that end point, since it looks like we're going to be covering that line here pretty quick, but I don't know, we'll see. This is definitely an efficient course to be running though, as it's going to take out the rest of this longer area here on the up down rows, it looks like, before it jumps over into the shorter stuff there. We didn't manage to get this thing emptied though before we started cutting in again. I don't know if we're going to make it to the end of the field. We're already at 77%, 78% here. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tight run there. I think it's going to get full right as we get towards the end there. So I'm going to jump over here into the grain cart. We're going to take things over again and see if we can go and get lined up there behind him, ready to go. Because maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I just don't see a way that that combine gets to the end row here before calling for an unload. Yeah, we called it. Looks like he's cutting over already, so we're going to keep things moving as fast as we can here by getting this unload started right out of the gate. And it looks like our grain cart's actually full. We didn't quite get the combine emptied out there, so that's gonna slow us down here if I can't get back up to the truck and unloading very quickly here. I think our combine's gonna get full right quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and help things out. We're gonna run the cart ourselves here for a few minutes. Give us something to do rather than just to watch the hired help take care of everything today. And I have to say, I think all of the equipment we've got here on the farm is perfectly sized to work together. This grain cart is just right for filling up each half of the truck, so we can pretty much get just short of 2 full grain carts in here. I love that things work out that way. And the combine fills up pretty quick, but not too quick for us to handle with this grain cart. We get 2-3 dumps into the grain cart, so everything's working out great. I think we've perfectly matched all of our equipment here in this series. Going to race back down here and see if we can start unloading the combine before it gets totally full again. I don't think we're going to make it because I can see the mound getting closer to the top of this combine as we approach. Now, one of the things, I was talking to Pleasant View Farms, who's the gentleman who converted this Alice Chalmers over, and he's done a great job on this. I love seeing some of the older equipment in game. But he said he's got possibly some grain tank extenders coming for this, like some wood boards or something working up on the sides, which would be really awesome to give this grain tank just a little bit more capacity. I think that's what, if anything, I would upgrade is to add those extenders onto this gleaner. That would be pretty awesome. Plus, I always liked seeing the slightly older equipment with the wood board extenders. You know, it just feels very farmer to me. We used to do stuff like that where, you know, you use whatever means you've got at your disposal to keep going as long as you can in the field. And if that meant tossing some 2x12s on around the top of your combine to give you a little bit more hopper capacity, then that's what you did. We used to do that on our gravity wagons as well quite a bit. I'm not sure I quite got him all the way emptied there, so we're going to try again just to make sure we got everything out of the hopper. We're going to zip down here and get the grain cart turned around. We'll unload on the way back up, and hopefully that's going to be enough to get this grain truck going one more time. I think we've only got 2 more dumps to make up to the elevator with the grain truck, and we'll have everything all done. Maybe not even 2. We're getting close to the end of this field, so we might just have 1 more dump to make with the grain truck, and then the last little bits of this field will probably end up being something that we can toss into our own bin. We'll see. We've got a couple of bins there. We're not really using them that much because we ended up using all of our corn for our hog feed. Speaking of which, while we're waiting for the combine to move around here, you can see here we've got 100 hogs that are almost to puberty. We've got the first set here, which is 1 out of the 4 months into reproducing again. And then we've got the new set that was just born the previous month that's starting to work its way towards puberty. So I'm excited. 1 more month and we'll have 2 different sets starting to work through the birthing cycles here. And they'll be offset by 2 months. So we'll get another 100 hogs every 2 months, it looks like, which will be awesome. And then these will catch up here pretty soon. And at that point, we'll kind of hit that snowballing effect where we are making hogs really fast. And our bigger concern is going to be whether or not we can keep up from a food perspective, which I just don't know if our 2 fields are going to be able to do. And at that point, we're also going to need to figure out how to put our feed mill back down, which might require us to either start a multiplayer game so I can buy that other chunk of the map under a secondary account on the save, or what we're going to do there, maybe I'll just buy that chunk of land. It's a nice big field, and we can use that for our hog feed. That'd actually be not a bad idea. If we just ended up purchasing, what is that, field 27 that we were working in? How much is field 27? We might take out the loan. That's $1 million. I don't know if we can get $1 million loan on the credit that we have, but if we could come up with $1 million and just buy that field outright, that'd be the perfect field to just put corn into for hog feed, and then we wouldn't have to haul it that far to get it to the feed mill. And then all we'd have to worry about is bringing a semi of feed over as we needed it to feed the hogs. I've also considered looking into either a smaller placeable or maybe some kind of a wagon or something that we could grind our own feed on the farm. I thought that might be a good alternative that we could look into at some point, but I just haven't had the time to see if there's any other good mods out there to grind feed up with. I know we used something to mix TMR and stuff on, was that Westby that we were playing with the dairy farm? We could definitely look into just modding something like that to do what we need. But for the time being, we've just been kind of kicking that can down the road, knowing that that's something that we're going to need to look into at some point. I'm going to go ahead and unload this into here. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be enough to fill us up. I don't remember if we were full last time we came up here, but we're hoping. I think if this is a full truck, it might be just enough to finish off the delivery parts for the contract. Look at that, 1 bushel, perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just point this guy back in the right direction, tell Courseplay to take over. We're going to run this truck up to the elevator, and let's see if we're getting close to done with this contract finally. We are dumping the last trailer here. Oh, it looks like we have finished the contract. 543 income in that short amount of time. So we just wrapped that up, it looks like. Yes, we did. $20,000 here. Details off. We're going to go ahead and complete that contract. Nicely done. And we got a whole back trailer here of barley. Let's just take a quick look at the barley prices. Price fluctuations. It looks like holding on to that into December or January is really the preferred timing to sell. It's a pretty big spread too, so I don't see any reason we shouldn't just kind of hold on to this for a bit. We'll find some space for it in one of our bins, and I think we've probably got a little bit left back down there at the farm. So looks like the train just went through here. We'll bring this back up to the farm and go out to the field and get the rest of that equipment, because I'm sure we've got a little bit more grain sitting out there. I'm excited to have knocked out this contract, and looks like we generated a fair amount of money. We got another 20 grand here in the bank, which, if I'm not mistaken, we do have a 100K loan here, so we can pay that down. Every little bit helps. And I'm thinking we'll manage to make our way back out of debt here very soon, probably around the end of the year, if our hogs start paying off in the next few months like I expect. I'm not sure if we're going to start selling them here at the end of the year or not. I know at some point very quickly here, it's going to get out of hand if we don't start selling them though, so we've got to kind of keep our eye on that. While I want to get our hogs moving and start reproducing and getting a lot more in there, we also want to make sure that we're keeping room to handle all the incoming hogs and it doesn't get too out of hand. We do have at least at the moment, finite amount of food that we're able to generate each year and provide for them. So it's kind of one of those things where we've got to get a little bit bigger before we can really go all out. And it looks like our AI worker Betty, our combine driver, has completed their tasks, so we should be all done with the harvest here. Jumping back on out here to the field, it does look like we are indeed done. So I'm gonna hop over here real quick and let's see how full the combine was. Combine's actually emptied out, which is nice. So we've got another 200 bushels of barley here in the grain cart, looking good. We're gonna go ahead and run this grain cart back up to the yard here. We'll get everything merged into the truck and figure out how we want to store all of this grain. We're also going to have to spend a little bit of time cleaning up our equipment here. Now, luckily, our farm is right close to where that Field 19 was that we were working on, despite the railroad tracks, so we should be able to get right back up here into the yard and dump all of this barley out. These trees, while they look really nice on the driveway here, kind of make it hard to get in and out, kind of hard to see what's going on. At some point we have to worry about trimming those back, or probably better off just putting in a driveway to get into our farmyard here that doesn't go right by the front of the house. I still think somewhere right there in between our cornfield and the neighbor's grass field would be the perfect place for it. Oops, we can dump right into the auger apparently. That's not what we want to do though. So I'll probably just put it in here. I don't think it's all gonna fit in that back hopper anyway. So we'll just dump it in here and not have to worry about it. Now I've probably got a bushel of barley into that auger though, driving by like that. So I'm curious if we had anything in that bin or not. Maybe some leftover sunflowers? I'm not sure. Maybe we sold those sunflowers. Let's go take a look at the bins here and see where we're at. This silo is empty. This silo is empty. All right, well, that's not too bad then. Let's go ahead and get the grain truck fired up here then, and we can dump this stuff right into the bin. Now, here's what I'm curious about. I haven't tried this. Can I dump the grain truck without disconnecting the trailer into the auger here? If I do something like this and then just cut it back really sharp, can I get this into the hopper? Oh, I can. Look at that. Looking good. Now, did I bump the auger is the question. Oh, we need a tractor hooked up to that auger for it to do anything. All right, 1 second here. If I remember right, we're going to have to disable manual attach to get this thing going. So let's see if we can at least get this tractor into place here without too many difficulties. There's a little orange dot down there. I know it's probably really hard to see on the YouTubes, but I can see it just barely here, and we're gonna try and get lined up here. Oh, look at that. It does actually connect here. And if we look, I think our auger's just a little bit misaligned. So if I back up a smidge here, we're just getting it into place. I think I might need to pull this truck forward. Oops. Pull this truck forward a little bit, get it out of the way. No, oh no, it looks like all the grain probably went into the bin already. Well, let's double check. Yeah, look at that, 7,000 liters of barley in that bin. We're digging that for sure. Let's see if we can back this up to the auger. Now, realistically, I should probably back this up straight onto the auger, but it is what it is. We're kind of off to the side here. I think it's going to be easier to side load this than to go all the way back around with the truck and cart. Well, maybe not. Maybe, oh, we don't have the right wagon selected. There we go. All right, everything's working, even if it's not quite perfectly aligned there. We're going to just ignore that here for the purposes of getting everything unloaded. And apparently switching gears caused our truck to get misaligned. And just like that, we are all emptied out. So we're going to try and swing the truck around in the yard here, get it parked back over here where I like it. And that's really going to wrap up this contract here, which was a lot of fun to do something a little bit different that we haven't done on this farm at least yet, and play around with some of the new Courseplay stuff, which has been awesome. I'm glad we got a chance to try that all out. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. Like I said, the more I play around with this stuff, the more I think it's going to be fun to get going here with some larger equipment on a farm from a Courseplay perspective, and really get back into some of the stuff that I used to run, like on Flint Hills or the Millennial Farmer map and stuff. So stay tuned for that. I think we are going to try and fire up a second series here in the near future, playing around with some of that. There's been a lot of great mods coming out lately, so let me know what kind of stuff you guys would like to see in the future on the channel. We will definitely be continuing to run things here on Farmville with the hog farm, though. I want to see how this all plays out and see what a large-scale farm operation really looks like as we get quite a few more hogs coming through this process. So thanks for watching. That's all for today. Kedrick out. If we pop open our animal menu, you can see here, we've got 100 cows that are just about to puberty. 100 cows.